Hey guys, so this is an after report from our SICH video. As you may saw, it was more of a promotional video for the SICH tourniquet, and I would just like to address a couple of questions, concerns, and some of the comments that we got under the video. So first, as I mentioned, that was a promotional video, but we didn't fake any of those tests. So this is the actual tourniquet that you saw in that video. This one, it was submerged in water, soaked completely, and then it was frozen for 3 days. After that, you saw it on the video. Luca threw it on the ground, used the blunt side of the axe to chop it out of the ice, and then this tourniquet was driven over 2 times and then later used to tow a car. So all of the tests, as you seen in that video, were actually performed on the same tourniquet, this one here, that we also later applied multiple times on arms and legs with Luca's supervision, and from what he could get from just measuring the pulse and his expertise, he said that it's still working properly. Unfortunately, we weren't able to get the Doppler device to actually scientifically measure if there is still any circulation in the limbs for our video. But what we are doing now, we are sending this exact tourniquet to one of our viewers in Czech Republic. He is a medical professional and he has all the proper equipment, and hopefully he will be able to test this exact tourniquet and see if this is effective or not.
So the blood flow is completely stopped. So now it's time to try to test the tourniquet on my arm. So let's see how it performs. Again, completely flat line, no pulse, so it works how it should. Very nice!
So now let's go through some of the comments and questions that were left under our first video and try to answer them. So the first one, and I think the most important one, is this tourniquet COTCCC approved? No, it is not. As far as we know, it was never even evaluated. The original company, SICH, is from Ukraine. This tourniquet was designed and made in Ukraine, and as far as we know, they never submitted it to COTCCC. As you may know, that organization is based in US. I personally don't know what are their procedures to get the tourniquet evaluated. I personally think that SICH should find out and definitely send the tourniquet there, because I personally think that this will be approved easily. So how did we find out about this tourniquet? We actually found it through one YouTube video and decided to order a couple and test them out. So me, as a non-medical professional, but then also later Luca, he did a lot of proper field testing, destructive testing. Then we were convinced. Then we actually, decided to order a batch for our web store, and then decided to do a video. So what are some of the positive features and what are some of the downsides of the SICH tourniquet? Well, first, I think the aluminum buckles and aluminum windlass are actually quite a positive side of this tourniquet, because it's very resistant to extreme outside temperatures and very resistant to blunt force damage, UV light, and so on. The other thing, I like that it copies, emulates some other tourniquets on the market, the most popular ones. So it's very similar in use and very instinctive. You only have to use one of these notches here, and you can also use this on your tie. It will be tight enough. The second notch in here is if someone is fat and you run out of the tourniquet like this, or you have to apply the tourniquet for longer periods of time. So for example, if you're on a battlefield, this is a more secure option, because here now you have the actual metal buckle holding the strap besides the Velcro, so it's more secure. So that's one thing that I really like. The other thing is this triangle here is very rigid, so it's easier to go through the buckle. This tourniquet is soft. It has soft side. What I want to say here is that some other tourniquets have a plastic backing here, which is rigid. This one doesn't. So what this means that you can apply to a very, very small limb. As you can see here, even like this, and when you start to twist it, it still can achieve compression. So it can work on smaller diameter limbs than a lot of other tourniquets. What is the downside of this tourniquet? I personally think that the only serious or real downside of this tourniquet is that when you have to apply it one-handed, like this, for example, when you twist it and you have to secure the windlass with when you have to secure the windlass, you have to get this triangle here and put it like this, and this can be a bit tricky for people that are not trained with this tourniquet, or if I'm losing blood, I'm in the middle of a firefight, and it's really hard to then with one hand find this triangle. Well, it was not that hard, but I think you know what I mean. It's a bit more complicated as with the cat tourniquet, where you just get the windlass in that hole and it works. This is I think the only downside that I see with this tourniquet. And yeah, I just started to ramble and I talk too much. I think we'll end this video, but if you have some other questions, please leave them in the comments below. And oh yeah, the other question, the last question. So a lot of people asked us if we can ship this to United States. Yes, we have international shipping, so not just United States. Wherever in the world you can order it. We offer flat rate shipping, so it's very, very economic, good price, and we can ship it anywhere. So yeah, thank you very much. Thank you for watching, and stay safe. I ran out of words.